What is it with the Hells Angels all driving by right now while we're doing the intro? All right.
Shit.
Welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys, where we make smart moves so you don't have to. Welcome to fantasy football, baby.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Mike Meals, alongside my co-host,
The Puma.
Mr. Joey Puma.
That's right, cause one and only, the myth, the man, Lejon.
Puma said he makes me nervous. Honestly, the only thing that makes me nervous is the Hells Angels driving by about 30 motorcycles deep.
I don't know what's going on. I guess it's gathering time.
You know,
Feeding time at 6:30.
why is it that anytime that we're here, all the cars decide to make the loudest noises possible right here on this beautiful highway?
Yeah, they're all watching.
I wish you guys could be here where we're at. We're located in New Jersey, just so you guys know, in Fair Lawn on a beautiful highway called Broadway. One side is beautiful, filled with delight, and the other side, if you go all the way down, you might run into some trouble.
You might not make it back.
But that's Broadway for you. No, we are not in Manhattan. But today we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. We've been popping on there, and we're going to just keep giving you tons of fantasy football content, talking about relevant guys, key things, and stuff that you got to do to prepare for the fantasy season. Puma?
We walked in today, and I love your jersey, by the way. I love it because our main man signed a new deal.
Yeah,
That's his Brees.
Brees Hall. And that was kind of the reason why I wore this jersey today, because I knew at one point we were going to talk about him. We have a special segment for Brees. There's a lot of guys today that we're going to mainly talk about that are relevant today because of news that's trending, things that are going on, and obviously how it affects fantasy football. Because, every show I feel like we've been talking about a lot of the rookies, a lot of dynasty startup stuff, but now we're getting into almost 3 months away from when drafts are going to be taking place.
Go time.
And it's not even just dynasty talk anymore. We're talking redraft leagues also. So we have to talk about a lot of these guys that have tremendous value in fantasy and so much news that has happened that have kind of altered things. Like, let's start with the number one guy that we'll talk today. We're going to start with Malik Neighbors. So Malik Neighbors, he had another surgery on his knee to remove scar tissue. As you know, he tore his ACL early in the year last year, which was devastating for a lot of fantasy teams, a lot of dynasty owners. But Malik Neighbors, nevertheless, now another surgery where even Adam Schefter's saying that he's worried for Neighbors. And I'll tell you right now, I am too.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, this is why going back to the draft, even though Arvel Reese seemed like a slam dunk pick, a lot of naysayers out there really wanted the Giants to go Jordan Tyson or another offensive weapon because of, we weren't sure how Neighbors' recovery status would be. I mean, now even reports are coming out that, other than Neighbors, the Giants are going to be a run-centric team, run-first team.
I heard that.
And, this hurts Neighbors a little bit, in my opinion. I know a lot of people will say, oh, he'll be there in training camp. Well, we don't know. Right now, all we know is that, he's still on the mend. And you know as well as I do, I don't like taking players that are already, banged up, coming off an injury, especially in restart. And keeper and dynasty, you have them, whatever. But as far as restart, starting all over your league again, it's sometimes some players that I want to shy away from. And his ADP is
That's
falling
what
right
it comes
now.
down to with Malik Neighbors is that right now in a redraft league, Malik Neighbors is being drafted in the second round,
Mid-
maybe mid-second round, early third round, possibly, and probably going to keep falling as long as we know that he's not playing or not on the field, not at OTAs, not in training camp, because it looks like right now he might not even be there for week 1. So that's where I feel like everyone needs to start to figure out, is this a guy that is worth drafting in that position, knowing that you can draft a running back like Chase Brown, or you can even get a guy like George Pickens. There's a lot of other players that are more valuable. Or to me, I just don't think that as of now, he doesn't look like he's valuable in that round at all. It looks like it's a bad pick.
Well, let me ask you
A lot
real
of unsurety.
let me ask you real quick. Top of the third, right? You taking Malik Neighbors? Maybe you could get him a great value. Would you rather? Or Brees Hall?
I'm not taking Malik Neighbors. So right now, there's no position that I'm going to take him. I'm going to find another alternative option that I think is much better.
Okay.
even though I think a lot of people are going to still chase the fact that his rookie year, yeah, he was sensational, even when in a shitty offense
Yeah.
where he got 170 targets rookie year.
Non-Jackson Dart.
Yeah, well, and he hasn't played for a year and a half,
Yeah.
and and frankly, I'm worried now for Jackson Dart. I'm worried now for the Giants' offense in general. Even guys like Cam Scatterbo, who's also unsure right now. We don't know what his status is.
And a little tidbit, no Wan'Dale Robinson.
In general, I
Yeah.
think that the Giants' offense, in a little bit of trouble right
Takes a
now.
step back with it.
Definitely, and I'm gonna probably stay away from it until I hear better news. That's the way I'm looking.
I would have it as a hold.
And that even goes with Cam Scatterbo. So in general, in terms of fantasy value, the Giants slightly down right now. Now another player, Rashi Rice, 30 days in the slammer for a violation of probation. This does not bode well with me at all, mainly because you're leaving yourself susceptible to injuries when you come back. A guy like Rashi Rice, you remember last time where he missed a couple games with suspension, he came out and he got hurt.
Yeah.
A
And
little bit, I guess.
I mean, he started off at a house on fire, but then, again, he was on the mend because he, ruptured something because he missed some time. I mean, listen, I think that all this news coming out, it is 30 days in jail, but I think that we still don't know if the league's going to even suspend him, maybe a game or two. Who knows? I think he did his time already. I think it was dumb on his part,
Yeah.
doing the probation, violating the probation rules. So for right now, I feel like it's a hold on Rashi Rice, but don't let this get to your head because Rashi Rice could win your league, man.
Well, look,
Look at him but he's Patrick Mahomes. He's the #1 target. When he came back, whatever you want to say about him, the guy was getting targets, he was getting touchdowns, and that's what matters in fantasy football, Mike.
yeah, he had 6 weeks last year where he was suspended for the whole first 6 weeks.
Right.
Missed the last 3 games of the NFL season, but during that, he didn't really do much. He was definitely a main target. Didn't score many touchdowns, but he did get a lot of targets.
Yeah.
And now with the addition of Kenny Walker, Xavier Worthy healthy, obviously Mahomes, we still don't know whether or not he's coming back. That's another offense right now that I'm just a little skeptical on. If I was going to draft today a guy like Rashi Rice and Malik Neighbors in the draft, I am not. I'm looking past that. I will look for another option at that point. Rashi Rice especially, but you're right. He did come back. You can kind of overlook things. It's not like he tore ACL or something.
Right.
Suspension or jail.
Yeah, and I feel like when he does come back, he's gonna hit the ground running, and it's somebody that you could again, Rashi Rice's value is always on the cheap because he always gets in trouble. And let's not forget, contractually, it's his last year. He's in a walk year, so even more so, he's gonna play for the money. Let's see.
He's got to show up. He definitely
Gotta
has to
show up, my man. Come on, money talk.
Yeah, though, with Rashi Rice also, last thing is that, when you miss that much time, especially training camp, OTAs, if you're in jail. Also, one key detail that we did not mention, he also had another surgery to help remove some scar
Cleanup.
tissue, a cleanup surgery, which is basically they go in, remove some scar tissue, which helps the inflammation, helps the tightness. It's not something that normal guys like you and I can afford, but I'll tell you right now that this is a little concerning because he's now going to be dealing with his rehab in jail. You don't get special treatment in there. So who knows how the recovery goes? And not to mention, you have all that time off where you're not working out with your team, you're not eating right. So, I don't know how much it'll really do to him, but right now I'm not interested.
I'm a full go.
So you would draft him right now?
Yeah, Puma's team's got a bunch of longest yard players on it. Sure, I want.
Yeah. Look, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it depends. It depends if you're okay with it. You got to be okay with it.
You didn't draft him last year.
I didn't because you know what it was with the 6-game suspension was too much for me,
There was a lot.
and I didn't have Rashi Rice, no Rashi Rice shares in any of my league, just because the 6 games was a lot for me, and that's like for me those bench spots are precious. When you're talking about handcuffs, when you're talking about potential stars that you could see. So for me, anyone with a benching of 6 games or more is just too high for me. I would have passed on anyone.
So let's talk about another guy, Jackson Smith and Jigba. JSN. Now, I love talking about these hot guys because whoa, pause. You heard that? I love talking about these hot guys. But seriously, I love talking about these hot guys, these hot players, because they're obviously the cream of the crop. There's a lot of speculation whether or not these players are gonna, perform again at that level that they did the year before. And this is a perfect example. This was the wide receiver 2 last year. Everybody's big on him. He's now, potentially a top 5 kick in a redraft league, even a dynasty league. I mean, he's got it all. He's one of the best receivers in the game. And right now, the only bit of news that came out, which I found it very interesting, was that the NFL served him the Player of the Year award, Offensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah.
Had the little misspelling and engraving.
Yeah.
It's a defensive. I don't know. To me, the way he posted it, he looks like he's an angry guy, or that he's, this year he wants to come back and
I think he's gonna
little
take
revenge.
take his revenge out on the field. Seattle has a middle of the road schedule. We're gonna get to some team schedules later on, but I feel like if someone who can repeat as offensive player of the year, it definitely could be Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, he could have easily won MVP. Even MVP is more of a QB award, but this guy was on fire. And the sky's the limit for him.
Also, I mean, look, I'm not saying he's a bad pick. He's got to be a first round pick no matter what. If you get,
Look at the commanding
You might-
targets he did.
yeah, but you might get that decision where you have to choose between a JSN and, let's say, Christian McCaffrey. And let's say all is well, both guys are healthy. Who are you taking in that situation?
JSN.
JSN over
Without-
CMC.
Without hesitation, because how am I going to rely on Christian McCaffrey in another healthy year? He played every game last year. Well, I like to go against the odds now. Now I feel like he's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Every other year. When he was on Madden cover, he was hurt. He comes back last year. He has an amazing season. It's one of those years where it's time to dip down. And for me, I'm going JSN all day long. He's one of my top 5 safest picks in the draft.
He's definitely going to accumulate tons of points, I'll tell you right now. And I do agree with what you said about CMC, because patterns, baby, patterns are everything in fantasy football.
The trend.
There's a lot of trend. And, like one of the things last year, running backs were notoriously healthy last year. Notoriously healthy. We had an average of 16 games played per player for in fantasy. I think it was for the top 24 guys. So, and then, normally that average is around 12, 13, which means that they played a lot more games. So being with values and how trends go, like you say, patterns, you got to pay attention. Maybe a year like this is a year that CMC gets hurt again. And I hope not, but you're right. It's, JSN is a safe player.
Let me give you another one real quick. JSN, would you rather JSN or your boy Puka Nacua? Knowing all the rehab stuff, the Stafford's a year older.
Yeah. We talked about it a little earlier regarding.
I feel like it's better to bring it up on the show. Save that juice. Who you taking? I know who I'm taking. Who you taking?
I know you're going to probably say JSN, and not even just to combat you, I'm going to say Puka, because I like them both. I had them both last year. Ironically.
Same, I love him.
Puka and Nacua, I'm going to have to take simply for the fact that Matthew Stafford is back for one more year, Super Bowl bound. They are looking for that, that trophy. Obviously, Puka has his issues, off the field issues right now. But come game time, they didn't draft the wide receiver. They didn't draft Mekhi Lemon. They drafted Ty Simpson. To me, screams that they still believe in Puka. They still expect Puka to be the number one. They made big moves during the offseason, and now they signed him for the one-year extension, being Matthew Stafford. I still take Puka Nacua all day, because JSN is going to now have to play Trent McDuffie twice a year. I don't know if that's going to make the biggest difference, but on top of that, his schedule is harder. We'll have to see. No running back over there now, too. It's a shame.
Yeah, I think that's why I would lean more JSN, because there is no running back, less weapons. The Rams have more weapons. For me, it's the utilization. Everything is running through JSN, man. The targets, the looks. I mean, the guy's on 85% of the snaps.
No, he's the man for sure.
But you can't go wrong.
You can't. And
Apples and apples.
I was kind of rage baiting you when I was talking about the no running backs in Seattle. Cause this guy's a big Jadarian Price guy. You know, he's got his
Listen,
jersey. He's got his last
listen.
game worn
The
underwear.
price is right.
The price is wrong. No, it's not at all. But I will say that
Number 8.
JSN, Puka, great picks regardless. But these are things that you got to consider. And obviously, you might be put in that position where you have to make a draft pick based on that. Now, the next bit of news, I know, Ricky Williams.
It's Jadarian Price, the next Ricky Williams.
We should smoke a joint before the next episode. see how crazy we can get. I'll tell you now, we were about to talk about Matthew Stafford. We did kind of cover him briefly just now.
Yeah.
He landed a 1-year extension, $55 million, worth up to $60 million in incentives. So Matthew Stafford, obviously, like we said, they are looking for a Super Bowl over there in LA. They've showed with all their moves. I think it's a terrific pick, and I think it really solidifies all offensive players in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, this just tells you that, a little more seasoning for Ty Simpson, right? He just got there. He's going to sit behind Matthew Stafford. I feel like this is an a la Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love type of ordeal. You know, like Aaron Rodgers was actually going into that MVP season.
Yeah.
So I feel like, listen, like if I'm Matthew Stafford, I take this to heart. I take this like you're trying to draft my replacement. Nah, I'm gonna go show out, be a 2-time MVP.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was
He's got the
dog
weapons to
last
do it,
year.
man.
In the end, he finished at quarterback 2. There was a lot of times where people were looking at him as a streaming option.
Yeah.
This year, that is off the table. But you could still get him at a good value in a redraft league. I expect Dynasty, forget it, or Superflex. I mean, that might be a little harder, but let's just talk in a redraft league. You could get him late if you have a guy like Puka on your team, and it's a nice little stack. Somebody that you can expect is going to get you at least 2 touchdowns in the air every year.
Pick.
Get you 20 points a game. I mean, and then even the year before that, 2024, he was solid. But right now, 2025, this last year, he was QB2, MVP. He's still top 12 quarterback right now.
I think that level, right? Like for me, he's in that, Joe Burrow kind of talk because they don't use their legs.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta be averaging 250, 300 passing yards per week
With 2 tutties.
with at least 2 tutties. You're right. Because, to be taken into consideration, that you're taking away that dual threat of a Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels. The other guy I was thinking about was Dak Prescott. So like Prescott, another one, Stafford, and Joe Burrow, they're in that tier of no running capability, but it's all arm.
That's why usually those guys you can get a little bit later, and I kind of like them.
Yeah.
Regardless, the 2 touchdown average is what you'll see because Stafford. There'll be a game where he only gets 1 touchdown, maybe an awful game where he gets none, but he'll also get you a 4 or 5 touchdown game, maybe once or twice a year, maybe more. Who knows? He'll get you a couple. Yeah, he had a few. Remember the one in
It was one in London.
London? Yeah, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 5 or 6. It was like unbelievable. 3 of them were to Devontae.
It's funny. I told Pat, shout out to Pat, sorry, buddy, but I told him to start out to Stafford that year in that game, and he didn't. And he had like 40 points.
Tell me he did.
No, he didn't.
Well,
Pat's the guy that's just gonna go against the grain. That's fine. In fantasy, if you want to go against the grain here and there, I expect, a lot of
Will Leathers one time. That's all right.
Look, but sometimes those things will hit, and you got to have a good feeling about it. Don't just do something that you hear some other guys say. But anyway, in terms of veteran quarterbacks, some more news. We have Aaron Rodgers signed his final 1-year deal. And he officially announces his retirement after this 2026 season. Congratulations, Aaron Rodgers.
Is there any certain amount of people that feel like they don't believe him? I feel like I don't believe him.
You never know these
I
days.
think he's gonna do a Brett Favre, but that's besides the point. What do you think about these players around Rodgers? Are they relevant? Are
Great
they
questions.
neutral to you? Like for me, we were talking about you were doing a little bit of mock meals when I walked in.
Yeah.
And I told you like the number one disgusting player for me right now on Pittsburgh or in the draft is Michael Pittman.
Yep.
Just because are you going to get the volume? You're playing amongst DK Metcalf now. He's had a year with DK. He has no years with Pittman. Where do you see all of this going direction-wise?
Rodgers to me looks like he's honestly like the LeBron James of the NFL,
Uh-huh.
meaning where he turns into a GM and every all these moves, start getting made. He makes some specific requests. I feel like they were really missing a second wide receiver, so Michael Pittman going there like made a lot of sense. That they were trying to bring somebody else in because last year they only had DK Metcalf. With that being said, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to get him the ball a lot, but he's not a sexy pick to me. And the wide receivers in general aren't. I'm excited for the running backs. I think Jalen Warren and Rico Dowdle, this definitely helps them. Definitely helps them. You could probably see a similar amount of production than what you had last year because Jalen Warren and Kenny Gainwell were the offensive production in fantasy last year.
It's like Jalen Warren's the Chuba Hubbard to Rico Dow.
Kind of, yeah. I think Jalen Warren is also just, he's a little bit better than Chuba.
I feel like no. I feel from a talent standpoint, you're absolutely right. I feel like from a goal line standpoint, this gives him more of like a thump. So I feel like, especially Rodgers just wants to just hand the ball off. I can't tell you how many times I watched them last year and they got stopped on the goal line. So for me, I feel like Rico Dow definitely touchdown dependent.
Yeah, you could say that. I think he's going to get a lot of work, though. All right, so who are you taking right now? Jalen Warren or Rico Dowdle? Who would you rather?
Rico Suave. Cause they play against the Panthers this year. You heard it here first.
Revenge game?
Two anytime touchdowns.
Last
You heard
year,
it right.
Rico Dowdle did have a massive revenge game
Against the
his
Cowboys.
last team, which was
You
the
think I'm making
Cowboys,
this
yeah.
up? This guy thinks I'm making this up.
It also sucks, but regardless, I think that they're going to both have good seasons. I don't expect to see what I saw out of Kenny Gainwell out of Rico Dowdle. And I do also believe that people are underestimating the fact that this guy has been on a bunch of different teams. He knows what kind of head case he
Spoke
is.
about that,
You heard him speak in Carolina a couple of times. Kind of seems like an edgy guy, pissed off. Jalen Warren has been on the same team for all these years. He's a freaking hard worker, man, and he pounds the ball out as hard as he can.
Yeah.
He's a tough runner. Catches the ball. He's a great blocker. He's an all-around amazing running back. But nowadays, you got to have two. And I'm sure Rodgers also said, hey, you're not going to get rid of Gainwell and not bring somebody back for me. They want people there. This is going to be his last year. They want to try to win a Super Bowl. But
Not happening.
back on DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman, they're also in the same category where I will look elsewhere at that moment.
Those are like fade candidates for me. All Pittsburgh receivers. Like like how I had the Saints last year? Like for me, it's like all Pittsburgh offensive weapons. It's a mess right now.
Jalen Warren is the only one that interests me.
The running backs.
Running backs.
I'll give you that because the scarcity in the league.
Rico Suave. What's funny? You kind of like you were like a Rico Dowdle, and I'm like a Jalen Warren.
Yeah, you're like this blue collar, like hard worker,
Blue
and like
collar.
and
That's funny that you could say that. I'm like a blue white collar. I'm a little bit of both. Look at
Right.
that guy's got a nice pizza. Let me get a slice.
how you doing?
Now let's talk about our boy because I've been finally waiting for this. My man, Mr. Brees Hall, like we said, signed a 3-year, $45 million deal. I have big hopes for Brees Hall, and it's not only because I'm a Jets fan. I think that Brees Hall could perform and finish as a top 10 running back this year.
Yes, Mike, I totally agree with you. I feel like our offensive line is a little bit better now. We have our two healthy bookends back. Gino, I feel like is gonna surprise some people. I mean, he had some good games with Ashton Genty. That just offense with the Raiders was just so bad. But I think Brees Hall is our offense, along with Garrett Wilson and all the other new pieces that were brought in. But it goes with Brees Hall. Well deserved of the money. I'm not against it. I love him. I think he's a top 3-round pick, Mike. For me, Brees Hall was a very big sleeper last year. People were staying away from him. They hated him.
Yep.
By week 5, I had people trading a 1st-round pick for him in my league. So, big time. Again, he's another sleeper just because of the team he's on and the offense he's on. But Stay with us. We're gonna keep you in tune, especially in camp.
But
But I love Brees.
but that's what I'm saying. Right now, he's kind of being drafted as a middle of the third round, which is
Fourth round,
middle
top four.
middle of the third round, top fourth round. I haven't seen him go that late yet, but let's just say middle third, bottom third.
Right.
I've been seeing him
Pretty
go
close.
there. I I would rather draft him at that position than draft Ashton Genty at the end of the first, top of the second. I'll tell you now, when it goes pound for pound, I think Brees Hall is an all-around better running back than him. Despite the youth, I know that everybody has high hopes for Genty. I'm still not that impressed and I'm still not that sold. So yeah, I would rather wait. Now, am I going to take Brees Hall at the end of the first round? No, because that's not the value. I'm talking value. So at that position, I'm just saying that
No,
that's where, to me, Brees Hall has potential to be a top 10 running back.
Yeah, you're saying like at the top of the second, you rather have like that, maybe 1A, 1B wide receiver, and then go get, a Brees Hall 3.7, 3.8, and
I
have
love
better value.
And I like that. And I think, look, we never know. His value might go up, but he's got a pretty decent schedule this year. I think people are underestimating Geno Smith at quarterback. I think that he could, get a lot of nice little dump offs, Brees Hall.
Well, the thing I always loved about Brees Hall, very dynamic in the passing game.
Yeah.
He could catch the ball, man. I remember this game against Miami. I think it was like his third game back. This was his first year. And he just like, oh my God, he took like a 70-yarder, like to the house, almost to the house, like at the 1-yard line. So I'll never forget that. But Brees Hall's got a lot of dynamic talent. I can't wait to see him play. And he's going to be a great pick.
Even last year, I mean, Brees Hall had 291 opportunities, 1,400 total yards, and only 5 touchdowns. And he finished RB 18 in full PPR.
On a bad team, that's not bad.
Actually, wait, let me see. That was
C6.
yeah, yeah, he finished RB 18 basically in 16 games played at full PPR. And I think you could see him as an RB1 this year. Let's say running back 12. I totally see that in the realm of possibilities for my man, Mr. Brees Hall.
Absolutely.
Brees me, baby. Call my name if you draft me, baby.
I like that. I like that.
You know that song?
Of course.
Janice, shut the.
I like that.
You do know it?
I
Listen, that new Drake album, how do you actually feel about it? Be honest with me.
it's whatever.
It's a great album.
I'm not really crazy about it. I'm just like I gotta listen to more songs.
Listen, I'm a big Drake guy. I remember I was in high school when that first album came out, So Far Gone, 2009. I was bumping that, listening before
Oh yeah.
Justin was still in his dad's nut sack over
Miss
there.
Me was one of my good Ray. I love.
That's in a later album, I think.
That's I love. Oh, Take Care. Is it
Yeah, yeah, it's in something like that.
Oh, I love that song.
Great song. I mean,
Up all night. Up all
Drake's-
night is
I-
daddy's
that's a
song.
banger. Yeah, that one bumps in the club.
Yeah.
Now, next thing, speaking of bumping in the club, Carnell Tate, the reason that we
Tate is
mentioned
hot.
him. Now, let's start with the fact that he's obviously a rookie,
Right.
drafted number 4 to the Tennessee Titans.
Uh-huh.
He's got a whole new coaching system over there that truly believe in him. One being Brian Dable, offensive coordinator, of course, head coach Robert Saleh. I thought this was very interesting. Robert Saleh decided to completely eliminate all seed oils from their facilities, kind of like NJ Gourmet. This is not an ad, but I tell you, it's the weird intangible things like this that make me truly believe in a franchise, in a team, and in a player. So a guy like Carnell Tate, to me, I put him up a couple notches.
Yeah, my take on it, as you said, I love the healthy eating. I think that's a very important point. It might be overlooked. Did you see their new threads? That's what.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
Dude, what?
Really nice. That baby blue is hot.
They look slick.
They do.
Let's not forget Carnell Tate, I mean, is basically in the position Malik Neighbors was in 2 years ago. Brian Dable is going to be running that offense. I think he's a better offensive coordinator, a la Buffalo Bills, than head coach. I'm going to go out on the limb and say Carnell Tate is going to have the better year than Malik Neighbors.
Wow.
Malik Neighbors' rookie season, 170 targets.
Yep.
Dude, this guy is the number 1 alongside with Wan'Dale Robinson. Are you kidding me? They're gonna have a great offense. They're gonna have a great coaching staff. I think they're gonna be in contention. I love me some tater tots. I think he's gonna be a wide receiver one.
You know,
That's just me. I'm going on the limb. I'm going on the limb.
yeah, I think he has a great chance of doing that. And you know what? I think that obviously everybody's scared because it's Tennessee. And of course, the seed oils thing is not going to be the only factor determining whether or not a player is going to be good.
One
Like
of
we know,
many.
obviously it's a stupid little intangible thing, but it's definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because it shows you culture that these teams are building. And culture to me
Awareness.
is mentality, awareness, big time. They are aware. That means they're a team.
Yeah.
But like just to give you a quick example, Carnell Tate is being drafted after a guy like Terry McLaurin, where I'm not saying McLaurin is bad, but he's also, not the same tier one receiver we used to see, or tier two, whatever you want to call him. And also, here's a good one. Would you draft Carnell Tate in the 5th round, redraft, or would you rather draft DJ Moore in the 4th round? Newly acquired wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills.
All right, there I have to take DJ Moore just
You take him?
because the Bills have been lacking a wide receiver one. Not to say that DJ Moore is the better talent. I think Carnell Tate is more talented, but it's the better offense, the better situation. You got the Hall of Fame quarterback. The jury's still out on Cam Ward. We don't know what he's
Yeah.
gonna be. Hopefully, he becomes decent. But for me, I have to go on what I know. That offense has James Cook, Shakira, Kincaid. I mean, I feel like sky's the limit for DJ Moore. All they ever needed was a wide receiver one.
And of course, they have
Or
Josh
maybe
Allen.
a wide receivers.
I think that's a great evaluation.
But that's a good one.
I couldn't argue with it. I was kind of curious to see how high he was on these rookies because that's the thing that a lot of times people see all the talk about rookies in the offseason.
Yeah.
They buy the hype and they say, okay, I'll wait on a player like this. And then they get so pissed off during the regular season when you see that veteran kicking up and you're like, oh my God, I knew it. I should have drafted him.
Well, let me give you another would you rather. Carnell Tate or up and coming second year Luther Burden. Knowing that DJ Moore has departed, does Luther Burden become that number one in the Bears offense? Or would you rather take a little bit more of a value pick on Carnell Tate and wait a little bit? Because in the Bears, it could either be more Colston Loveland, it could be Roma Dunze, what have you, Zacchaeus. But, with the Titans, it's either him,
Oh, yeah.
Tate, or Wandell. What are you leaning?
Absolutely Luther Burden.
Wow.
I'm going to have to go with that. I have to
You're
go with
buying hype.
the Ben Johnson offense, the second-year man, with the departed DJ Moore, who's now not there. I mean, yeah, of course, he takes a step up. And you saw him at the end of the season. Luther Burden looked like he was commanding targets, making plays, and showed exactly why Ben Johnson drafted him day 2. So for me, yeah, I like that, and I like the up-and-coming offense. And I think it's very similar players in terms of, youth, explosiveness. Like you could see a lot of
Future
things.
number one.
And Carnell Tate, though, he's a sexy pick. I think at some point, if you do draft him, you got to be a little excited.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, the acceptability is like a Marvin Harrison. Like, I'm definitely would take him rather over a Marvin Harrison.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because I'm trying to give you like maybe similar offensive situation.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So both teams picked in the top 10. So for me, 2 and 4. So yeah, I would rather go Carnell Tate there.
So then talking about guys that are undervalued, I thought this was very interesting to see that Kyren Williams right now being drafted as an RB 17 behind a lot of other players, of course, mostly notable, but especially with this new Matthew Stafford signing, I don't know, man. Something doesn't sit right with me. I feel like Kyren is being really undervalued.
I totally agree with you. I think Kyren Williams is very important to this offense. I don't even see him as an RB 17. Honestly, Mike, I see him as a top 10. Every year we have this conversation, and this conversation only came about once Blake Corum came about. I think the fear of Blake Corum getting touches makes people, cringe a little bit. But for me, the guy was what, RB 15 last year?
RB 9.
RB 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, it's not going away There's a reason why he's still on the team. If they wanted to move away from him, they wouldn't have given him money 2 seasons ago. I think they're invested in having 2 running backs, like we said before with the other situation. Um, it is not a bell cow league anymore. I mean, there's really 2 bell cows. There's 3. There's Gibbs, Bijan, and maybe a little bit of Breece Hall,
Yeah.
the guys that are getting the top money. Other than that, and Saquon, 4. But other than those guys, everyone else is a committee,
Yep.
you know? So even the guy coming in, Jeremiah Loves with 4 guys. So there is no such thing as the guy anymore. So for
Very
me,
true.
because the position is a scarcity, I'm still taking this guy in the top 4 rounds, top 5 rounds, just
Yeah.
because let people get scared off of because of Blake Corum. I believe McVay's offenses can support 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs, and
Yeah.
maybe even sometimes a tight end.
Couldn't agree with you more. And I think that you'll see very similar production to what you did last year. There's always off-season hype, but let's face the facts. Blake Corum is a great running back, but Kyron Williams has been the guy there, and he will remain the guy. He's 25 years old.
He's still young too. We talk about this
25.
guy like he's been in the league for 7 years. Like the guy has had, I think he's been in the league for what, 5 seasons?
Yeah.
And he's already like an old veteran. Like, and I know, running backs age differently than every other position, but for me, Kyron Williams is great, especially in the pass game.
Yeah.
Every time I watch a Thursday night football game, this guy is scoring a touchdown on a pass.
He had 309 opportunities last year, 1,500 total yards, 13 touchdowns, and 3 of those were in the air. So,
Dude, you know a player is good when if tomorrow the Rams put him on the block, you'd probably have all 31 teams wanting to trade for him.
oh, absolutely. And
30.
when you have these quarterbacks like that, like Matthew Stafford, it makes me very comfortable to know that a guy like Kyron is in good hands. You're not going to have to worry about the offense being that much in trouble. They're going for a Super Bowl. They're going to try to win every freaking game, and he's going to get hella carries.
Especially that we like to always take the running backs with the quarterbacks that don't run,
Yeah.
because now it doesn't take away those goal lines away. Think about all the touchdowns
Oh, yeah.
took away from Saquon, right? Well, Stafford doesn't do any of that. There's a 3% chance that he's taking it himself. It's going to the running back.
So then let's talk finally about something with quarterbacks. I want to talk our favorite value stacks. So meaning that a quarterback and a wide receiver that you can get for kind of cheap, not like a Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. We're talking somebody a little cheaper value, something where you can get better value out of it. People that you think are going to produce more than where you drafted them at. And I'll tell you one right now. One of my biggest favorite value stacks is Mr. Baker Mayfield and Emeka Egbuka. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know Puma before busted my chops on Egbuka. What is
A big boot.
Gronkowski says
Big,
a big
big
boot.
boot.
But this is the biggest reason why. Those first 6 weeks last year, those first 6 weeks last year, I mean, Egbuka was healthy and the offense was cooking. There was no Mike Evans there. But before Egbuka got hurt, he had put up 23 points, 12.9, 14.5, 20.1, and then 31.3 points all in those first 5 games. He had over 85% snap percentage. He was getting hella targets, looks like averaging about 8, 9 targets a game. And this was before even Baker Mayfield got hurt. If you remember, he got hurt also at one point. They were playing banged up. Once Egbuka hurt his hamstring, after Baker hurt his shoulder, the whole offense was out of sync, but they were one of the top teams in the league. They were one of the hottest stacks in the league. And Baker Mayfield was putting up top QB3 numbers, top 3 guys. He was like the number 2 QB. So I think that people got to really, really remember what happened and remember how injuries affect stats and kind of say, hey, let me give this guy a chance again this year. There's no more Mike Evans. They're going to, obviously put him as like their wide receiver 1, and you can get him in like the 4th round and Baker in like the 8th or 9th round right now. So to me, it's a great little stack. It's a value stack that if you land with a guy like Egbuka, yeah, I'm going to hold off on a quarterback and I'm just going to load up on running backs and wide receivers. And I mean, that's what I'm looking to do.
I love it, man. I'm a little down on a Big Boot
Yeah,
just because, he didn't finish the season too well last year.
he finished wide receiver 20.
Yeah, he started off hot, but
He was hurt.
yeah, I think once he had that injury against Seattle, and came back, and he didn't have any time off, even though he played through it. I think he was playing through something, so I'll give him that.
100%.
So, but good pick by you. Very good value pick, and young and upcoming. For me, I'm going with the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff, and Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Always a
Sun
classic.
God. For me, Mike, like this offense has always been top 10, going back to the Ben Johnson days. But now they get an offensive coordinator, new one, in Drew Pensing, coming from the Arizona Cardinals. And this man produced Michael Wilson, who was a top 12 wide receiver with Marvin Harrison out. What do you think he's going to do with Amon-Ra St. Brown? St. Brown finished last year as the wide receiver 3. And that's with Johnny Morton and Dan Campbell calling plays. What's going to happen with Drew Pensing? Feeding. He's a PPR monster. And the value right now, you got Amon-Ra, the Sun God, going what? 108, 109? And you got Jared Goff, who was the 8th quarterback, finished as the 8th quarterback last year. He's going in around 11, 1101, 1105. You could get him dirt cheap. Again, what did we say about quarterbacks that don't run? They get devalued a little bit. They get pushed down a little bit. And Jared Goff's first 6 games are all indoors.
The Dominator.
The Dominator. So get that for a little streaming factor. But him alongside the Sun God, I think they're going to make magic together. And there he is. I didn't even plan that.
Right?
But no, I think that's a big value stack, man. Yours is a great one too. Both of these are great. I mean, we've tried to get away from the CD Lamb, Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, the same conversation.
We've said this a lot.
Yeah. We're beating a dead
We
horse.
cross a lot of football.
Last year, I had Stephon Diggs and Drake May, and that one wasn't too shabby. That was a real dirty value one. With this one, I feel like everyone knows these players. Detroit Lions have been on the cusp for 4 years now, so we're acquainted to these players. And with a new offensive coordinator coming in, we're going to be talking about Drew Pensing getting a head coaching job this time next year.
That'll do it. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what we want to talk about. We're putting together ideas here. It's the off season. Puma's trying to get a tan. I'm trying to get a fade.
Listen, I'm getting white over here. It's unbelievable.
We'll have some more draft rankings coming out soon. Maybe you want to hear a mock? I think we're due for a mock.
Next time we should do a mock.
But we'll do a mock next time. And yeah, again, anything else you guys think about, shoot us a DM, drop a comment. But again, thank you for being with us, Fantasy Wise guys. My name is Mike Meals.
The Puma, Joey Puma, you already know.
Hey, we'll see you soon.
Master your game.